Meet 28-year-old Daniel Rodriguez, the current Rajadamnern Stadium super welterweight champion. Here he is, braining Angel Bauza in his most recent fight. The surface level analysis of this knockout is that it stems from Rodriguez setting up the open side high kick by peppering the body with similar looking roundhouse kicks. As such, Rodriguez goes high, Bauza lowers his rear hand slightly to defend the midsection, and he ends up chewing on canvas. But I'm not as interested in the finish per se as I am the way Rodriguez frustrates the pace, rhythm and game plan of Bauza over the 2 and a bit rounds. I'm also interested in how the weapons that Rodriguez uses frequently force a certain level of complacency out of Bauza. From the first engagement, Bauza is encroaching on Rodriguez's space, pushing through the glove touch to take the centre of the ring. He comes out blasting inside low kicks, framing to create space, and trying to counter Rodriguez when he throws to get off the ropes. He does a good job of not ceding too much ground when eating body kicks, pushing forward to maintain pressure. 2 minutes in, and we start to see a lot more of this. Waiting for the inevitable open side kick, choosing to commit to blocking it, and then breaking for a moment before initiating his next move, in this case a missed high kick. From this point, Bauza's behaviour in the fight remains aesthetically pressure-centric, but actively defensive. This lean back is nice, but he doesn't really do anything after it to punish Rodriguez for being out of position. Most of the body and high kicks subsequent, he just ends up eating or blocking before resetting. Rodriguez is smart to occasionally punish this reset. There is this kick catch into a left hook to the body, which is sick, and he answers 2 body kicks in a row with a straight right to the chest into a bumping left hook, but these are exceptions that prove the rule. Ultimately, Bauza is most successful in this fight when he accepts that these body kicks are going to fucking hurt, and he's going to push through anyway. Rodriguez's technique is about as fundamentally sound as possible. He gets his hip all the way over to generate maximum rotation, and his pivot foot turns a near perfect 90 degrees, so you know that these kicks are fast, accurate, and powerful. They will suck to eat, but Rodriguez is counting on that. No matter how many you block, you're going to end up battered and bruised. The question is, can you keep up with the counters, even when opening up means eating clean left kicks to the ribs? Bauza couldn't. During the final minute of the second round, Rodriguez threw 4 body kicks, and whilst Bauza countered them, the only thing he was countering with were delayed inside low kicks, no punches. The third round starts the same way, before the knockout blow lands. And while some of these inside low kicks are good quality, I don't think Daniel Rodriguez or his corner care that much that they're landing. In the grander scheme, these low kicks are relatively inconsequential in comparison to the body kicks. It's a trade-off that Rodriguez is very willing to make. I think this bout demonstrates the underlying caveat with fighting. Sometimes you are going to have to get hurt to hurt someone else, particularly when they have an A+ technique that they're not afraid to hurdle at you frequently. The left body kick was troubling Bauza, and unfortunately for him, the only way he was going to make Rodriguez throw it less was to accept that it was going to land and get in on the inside and punish him for overusing it. It's simple. If you crack someone whilst they're doing the thing that they're good at, they're less likely to do that thing. So as much as I'm an X and O's kind of person who believes that damage mitigation is a great way to ensure career longevity and success, sometimes a particular stylistic matchup means that there is no way you're getting out of that fight unscathed. In these circumstances, your toughness and willingness to make your opponent as uncomfortable as you become relevant intangibles. A good example of this is Rocky Marciano. Marciano is an anomaly in boxing, in that he retired professionally undefeated, having finished 43 of his 49 wins. Champions retiring undefeated isn't unheard of, but very few have as many fights as Marciano, and most of them are defensively oriented, or at least good damage mitigators. Antithetically, Marciano was very much willing to wade into the fire to perturb and overwhelm his opposition. Look at his first fight against Ezard Charles. Ezard showcased some fantastic work at range during the early going, including a frequently effective left hook to the body and a beautiful cross counter. You'd also see the pull right uppercut. In the clinch, where you would expect Marciano to have the advantage, Ezard was doing a good job of staying active with his hands and his underhooks, so Marciano couldn't lash out too recklessly from in close. He would then separate with intention, often using a post or extending on a landed punch to create distance. Also, look at this. Jabbing to draw out Marciano's customary pull towards the rear foot, hanging the jab, and then pulverising the body with a right uppercut as Marciano falls into the clinch frantically. Marciano was struggling into the pocket cleanly, having to deal with intercepting right hands and the hanging jab, so he adjusted his approach. We arrive at round 6, one of the most insane rounds of boxing you'll ever watch. Ezard starts the round well, landing some great right hands and utilising his jab. But as the frame continues, Marciano starts to have more and more success with two weapons. First is a left hook that he uses to close distance and get to the clinch, with which he frequently shifts into a square stance. He'll often throw this whilst bumping his feet simultaneously. Second is the right hook or right overhand, used interchangeably depending on the distance. He stops engaging in the fight for underhooks or overhooks and just starts letting rip with body and head shots, alternating sides. The rhythm of the fight changes. In the early rounds, it was a combination at range, a counter attempt, and then falling into the clinch, where Ezzard would dictate pace and Marciano would look to generate control before throwing. Now, Marciano is refusing to allow small breaks and resets in the clinch and extending sequences. If there is a reset, he's throwing himself into overhands to crash the pocket and force engagements. Ezzard is no longer allowed to play the clinical outboxing technician. Marciano makes him swang and bang. Rocky doesn't get out of these exchanges untouched. He's also getting clipped. But that's the point. Marciano knows that if he tries to box at range with Ezzard, he's losing the fight. He has to unsettle Ezzard's game and create offense in the chaos. Marciano ends up winning a unanimous decision after a hectic 15-round slog, defending his undisputed heavyweight championship. In their rematch, Marciano would finish Charles in the 8th round, cracking the challenger via a brutal, long combination. It ain't always pretty or fun, but sometimes this is what a fighter has to do to win. Angel Bauza is good, but he ran into a man with a dangerous signature weapon that he didn't feel comfortable punishing over use of. If a fighter isn't getting punished for using their favourite tools, they're just going to keep using it. So as unnatural or as disconcerting as it might feel, you have to make your opponent apprehensive about their A game, even if it occasionally means putting yourself in the line of fire.